Not all back injuries happen in a straight line, so training the strength and flexibility of the QL with a back extension or seated is something I've loved including in my regimen for the past 8 years. Seated is easiest to start with a wall to hold your flexibility in place, but as you get more flexible, you may enjoy the freedom of not using a wall. The higher your hands go, the greater the load, and you can even add load to that. With a back extension, I like to get my hip between the two pads, knees slightly bent, and this foot in front, simply because it mimics a basketball crossover, where I step slightly forward and to the side, throwing a ton of force into this leg and this QL. The exercise itself works great regardless of which foot is in front or how straight your legs are. Raising this hand increases the load, and from there I like to hold weight in this hand. I advise slow and steady with this exercise. Most people haven't trained this muscle for strength and flexibility, so it's notorious for waking up sore the next day or week. For that reason, just perform one set at first. Long term, my advice is simply to find a way to keep this in your regimen. No stress about how much weight you use whatever weight and option feels good for you. And for the record, I currently use a mere 5 pounds when I do the seated version. And the back extension version, I mostly keep in my regimen just by doing one set of up to 20 reps per side. The main form tip is to try to stay in the same plane of motion rather than going forward, which is fine as a motion, but would use the lower back more than the QL. To help ensure this, I reach my elbow upward toward the sky, and I feel an increased stretch in my QL when I do this. And similarly, with this version, I try to look up a bit, and instead of going here, I go to the outside of the foot. As always, my business for 6+ years has been coaching form, answering questions at an affordable rate, $49.50 a month, no long-term contract. Our goal is that I can give away anything I know on social media, and for some people, the service we provide is actually worth that $50 a month. You get to see every single ATG program. You get to see my current program, exactly how I train, all beginner programs, longevity programs, physique programs, jump programs, and ATG is not just me, so you get access to all our coaches. And there might even be an in-person coach near you, whether you have the money to afford someone full-time or even to get a session or a few sessions to get going. All these links are in the description, as well as the equipment we make. Thank you so much for your support.